We on? Oh. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming today. I'm going to brief you about COPD and the dangers of smoking. COPD is the third leading cause of death in the United States. Many continue to smoke even after being diagnosed with a serious lung disease. Many don't even recognize the dangers until they or a loved one have been diagnosed. Smoking will only worsen your symptoms, leading to an early and horrific death. Those who continue to smoke will likely die from COPD, like a fish with no water, unable to breathe. So this leads us to what exactly is COPD. COPD is a chronic lung disease. It is an extremely slow progressing disorder that as time goes by will only get worse. Smoking is also the leading cause of COPD. Doctors from the Mayo Clinic state that emphysema and bronchitis are the two most common conditions that make up COPD. An abundant amount of people do not realize that they have COPD until it's too late. A magnitude of damage has become and lung function is lost. Our respiratory system is a mucus-forming membrane, and as a person smokes, more mucus is created, which creates the coughing and is termed the smoker's cough. Some people also believe that just getting older will also leave you breathless. Medically, there is no such thing as a smoker's cough, and you don't lose your breath because you're getting old. It's called the beginning stages of COPD. So with all the hacking, wheezing, and coughing, don't you think that maybe your lungs are trying to tell you something? As each breath is taken, air travels down the windpipe, which is connected to the lungs by the bronchial tubes or airways. The bronchial tubes are connected to the trachea, or the air tube, or airway. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
At the end of, the bronchial tubes are connected to the trachea, and then the bronchial tubes are connected to the bronchioles, which are like the branches of a tree. At the end of those, there are thousands of alveoli, which are small sacs that expand as you breathe. Oxygen also diffuses through these capillaries, which provide oxygen to the rest of the body. The best way to describe this is to think about an upside-down tree. If you think of this as your windpipe here, your bronchial tubes branching off into the bronchioles, and on the end here, instead of leaves on the tree, we're going to think of those the alveoli is kind of like a balloon as it expands and inflates and deflates as you breathe in and out. So when a person smokes, chemicals such as these go into the body and the bloodstream. These chemicals basically eat away at your lungs and over time cause chronic bronchitis and emphysema, which together make COPD. Here you can see the difference between chronic bronchitis and emphysema. Chronic bronchitis is going to cause inflammation in here, which is in excess mucus, which is going to make it harder to breathe, as eventually, in most severe cases, there will only be a small little pinpoint in between the trachea for air and oxygen to get into the body. Emphysema is where the alveoli lose their shape and become damaged, creating tiny air sacs to merge together. We've already seen this picture over here a few slides back, but I wanted to put this one back up there again because it shows better. You can kind of see where the alveoli were once there and how it has collapsed and formed bigger alveoli, which is harder to get air in and out. This again is also showing, along with emphysema, you can see here the difference between a normal and alveoli with emphysema. These are some of the symptoms here. Coughing, of course, with the excess mucus. Chest pain, as it's harder to breathe. Depression, as you're not able to do the things that you were once able to do. Fever. The only thing I could think of with the fever, why they have that on there, would be probably because pneumonia, influenza, onset of colds are going to be easier to contact when you have a lung disorder. Limitations of COPD. A Lung Association survey revealed that 70% of COPD patients have problem with normal physical activity, 56% household chores, 51% have trouble working, 50% have trouble sleeping due to not being able to breathe as they lay down, and 46% even just family activities, they have trouble doing those. Some statistics is, of course, it is the third leading cause of death. 13.1 million people have COPD. Another 24 million have impaired lung function and have not yet been diagnosed with COPD. 85 to 90% of COPD deaths are from smoking. The American Lung Association, as well as the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, agree that a study done in 2007 showed that 64,000 women died from COPD compared to 60,000 men. So women are at more risk than men are. There is no cure for COPD. However, there are many treatment options for COPD. Inhalers, medications, breathing tubes, oxygen. Of course, no smoking. To stop smoking is the best thing that you can do to stop. All of these things are not going to work unless you stop smoking. Long-time smokers sometimes rationalize that there's no use quitting now. They are addicted and the damage has been done. This is not necessarily the case. Quitting at any time can literally save your life. Thank you.